Welcome to another session in this summit series, Self-Empowerment and Miracles. We truly hope that you are feeling the magic and the power and the sovereignty of your beingness. Today, I'm with my co-host, Lori Rayon, as we talk with this beautiful walk-in, William Linville. William has an amazing story and remarkable wisdom that he shares. So sit back and hold on to your hat as we go through this topic today, which is the embodiment and activation of your light body, releasing the mental and emotional pain bodies. I want to welcome Lori and William. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you. It's such an honor and such a blast to always get to play together, connect together, and be together always. So thank you.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us. We can't wait to hear what you have to share. It's so exciting when we hear your wisdom. So let's go.
Well, with the embodiment and activation of your light bodies and releasing the mental and emotional pain bodies and so forth, what I look at here is like right now, let's just close your eyes, focus your eyes towards your third eye for a moment. Just focusing towards your third eye, taking a breath, decompressing, opening up. Breaking energy with the whole world, letting the whole world just right here, right now, disconnect and decompress. Saying goodbye to everything, everyone, and absolutely everything that's been around you, going on within you, through you, and all the stuff that's been preoccupying you. Let's take our left palm facing down, right in front of your heart, right palm facing up, right in front of your heart. Let's take a nice slow deep breath in through the nose, all the way down through below your navel. Hold. And now just a deep sigh. And on the exhale, just sliding your palms across each other. Bringing your left palm into your heart, pushing your right palm out, pushing away the world, everyone in it, on it, loved ones, and the mass collective, and even the soul level, and everyone else's journeys and journeyers. Now let's just drop our hands, take another breath. Inhale for the count of 9, in through your nose, all the way down through your solar plexus. Hold for 9. And now, like you're trying to blow out a candle, just exhaling through the mouth for the count of 9. And bringing your consciousness up through the heart, letting it open up front, middle, and back, more and more and more. Up through the heart, now moving up through your sternum, the upper thoracic vertebrae, through the throat chakra level vortex, front, middle, and back. All the way through the third eye, front, middle, and back. All the way through your crown chakra level vortex. Just letting it open and open and open, more and more and more. Lighting up, opening up, accelerating, and amplifying to 20 feet, 30 feet, 100 feet above you. About 63 feet in diameter at the rim at the top. All the way through the mass collective, bringing your consciousness all the way through the mass collective consciousness. All the mass collective thought forms through the astral planes, all the way to the sun. Let's just connect right there with the sun, the SUN of the universe. The SUN of creator. Consciousness. Let's go beyond the sun into, within and through this whole universe, all the way into, within and through your central sun intelligence. Just being there, right here, right now. Expanding, letting you, it's like being on the ocean, laying on your back, just letting yourself be fully held, suspended, embraced. The whole universe being the water. Nothing to struggle with, just taking a breath, just laying on your back, looking up at all the beautiful, brilliant star systems and all the beauty, all the brilliance that you, of creator as creator, the facet of creator that you are giving yourself right now and allowing yourself to have, allowing yourself to open up with, to receive your natural state right now. And now just letting yourself take another breath, expanding beyond your creator source intelligence into and as all that is. To all those quadrillions of infinite particles of consciousness, particles of light. Before there was any identities created, before there was any dualities, polarities, polar opposites, negatives, positives, or male, female, right, wrong, and all these rules that have split you from yourself. No split cells, no atoms, no subatoms, no moleculars, no genetics, no DNA, RNA. Right here, right now, of you, as pure light, pure consciousness. In a total state of your total, complete, thorough, endless knowingness. That's not because of a thought. It's not because of an idea. Matter of fact, right now, you don't have a thought. You don't have an idea because you don't have a physical mind. You just are. You don't have any issues. You don't need any tissues. You don't have any conflicts, constructs, because you just are. Now, let's just be here for a moment. Just letting yourself be in your natural state, flowing, flourishing, radiating, permeating, just because you are, and just because you can. There's no issues, no constructs, because that's only a humanist thing. It's only an ego thing. Right now, egos don't exist. That was man-made. And now let's bring a stream of you right now. All these beautiful particles of light, these beautiful particles of clear, pure you and creator consciousness, and you as creator consciousness of all that is. All that is, I really want you to take a breath into that for a moment. All that is. Total isness. Before it was broken down, dumbed down, broken down, and brought into a physical manifest form. Where it was tampered, dampered, slowed down, and consolidated. All that is in your natural state. No beliefs, no personas, perceptions, no rules, no boxes, no limitations. And now, let's bring that is you, all that is, the facet of creator as a whole, and the wholeness of creator that you are. All the way through your creator source intelligence, all the way through the physical side. And let's just hold it there. Until your eyes begin to flicker. Because they will begin to flicker. It's the brain going into a natural state called theta. Theta brainwave is the state of pure manifestation. So whether we say Mother, Father, God, Mother, Father, Creator, or just Creator as a whole, I command the manifestation of whatever it may be for yourself. For my highest best good and highest best good of all concerned, and so it is. We command it so, and so it is. We're not saying what if, could if. We're not playing with filters. We're not playing with maybe, could be, should be, maybe not. Maybe so other people like us. Right now, none of that matters. Not about worthiness, not worthiness. That has nothing to do with you right now. You as creator are commanding it so. And so it is. Just like when you commanded, let there be light, and there was light. This is not a second guessing. It's not about being a good girl, bad boy, bad boy. All those humanity made judgments. Now, let's bring this through the physical sun, all the way through the astral planes of consciousness. Just waving to all those beautiful souls that are still trying to make a full transition, that Michael and the archangelic realms are assisting. Let's bring forth even our crystalline state of consciousness now that we're bringing into more and more of a physical sense. Through the astral planes of consciousness, all the way through the mass collective thought forms, which is what the mass collective is. All the way through the cosmic lattice one, which is what you tug on when you're commanding and creating and pulling on the cosmic lattice work to allow for manifestations to come into your live stream. So it's a spiral all the way through the mass collective, through the cosmic lattice work, all the way down into within, and about 938 feet in diameter through your crown chakra level vortex. And just letting it open up, accelerate, animate, radiate with more and more ebb and flow, more and more openness, vitality, omnipotence, and vibrancy. Once again, in your natural state, all the way through the crown, through the crystalline state of consciousness, which is where your light bodies exist. So right now, let's turn on the light switch right there on your sternum, even for the B and the T cells to reactivate, which is reactivating the youth vitality chromosomes. Those are the ones that die off. They create the appearance of age, and then the downhill starts of the breakdown of the body. So let's turn it back on. Right now, within and through the crystalline structure, that goes into lighting it up, opening it up, amplifying, and now embodying the activation of your light bodies, your crystalline structure. Once again, without a male, without a female, without a good, a bad, a right, wrong, up, down, middle, whatever, however, no constructs right now. Welcoming in more and more of the animation, speeding up of the vibrational frequency of megahertz of light. The megahertz of you, shall I say, speeding up through the molecules, atoms, subatoms, starting to even dissolve the whole genetic train, because genetics are also incarnational, that go through the family monad, which goes through the Akashic record realms, which go through all the streams of soul journeyers and soul families in which you've decided to travel with when you got caught up in the karmic lattice work. But now, like a lightning bolt, sending it right through that whole stream to the origination, to the cause, the core, the reckoning effect, to resolve and dissolve it now. And now let's just take another breath. All the way through the crown, the third eye, the frontal lobe of the brain, the midbrain, the back of the brain, through the master cell of the brain, right between the pineal and pituitary glands. Just letting it activate. It looks much like the pearl of essence. In every situation, it has a different frequency and tone and coloresqueness, because it's just like your aura. It responds differently in each and every scenario based through the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the emotional calibrational lattice work, from everything you've ever experienced at a body on a planet, from first separation to now, we have all that baggage locked up of what to do, when to do, how to do, that kick on the adrenals to have you go into action reaction mode. But right now, let's just turn on the light switch again. To where right now we can just go right through the Akashic record realms. We can take off our holy t-shirt that we've been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, and now it's pretty much worn out. Light it on fire, be gone. Now, let's even command right now our Akashic record realms, our soul journey, our levels, everything we've experienced in a body on a planet from first separation to now begin to be resolved and dissolved. Where no longer right here, right now, is any of it affecting you, your current live stream. Your current live stream being your main focal point right here, right now. Are the other live streams still affecting you? Betcha. No longer about karma. It's more about phobias, irrational fears. When you see someone, you connect with someone, and all of a sudden you get this heaviness in your solar plexus and these irrational fears kick up. Yeah, of course, you've been there, done that. As a matter of fact, you've still been being there and doing that with that dear one. Now we're just, wrapping it up, saying complete and resolved. So now it's just go door to door within the Akashic realms of consciousness, resolving, dissolving, completing, and breaking down all those barriers that have been moving, running, flourishing, accelerating, and affecting your current live stream. So now, let's look at that long, long hallway of all those incarnational realms, some being in royalty, some being in different tribes, out in Africa, New Zealand, Australia, on and on and on, Hawaii and all the islands, and kahunas, the virgin princesses, and sacrificial lambs, and everything else in between. Well, what a ride. Been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. Now, let's welcome back now all of our power, all of our energies cleared and purified, including all the rungs of honor that you've gained from being there, doing that, resolving, completing, and now welcoming back all your energy, all your power, all of the light that you are. Your emanation, purification, amplification within yourself and through yourself and for yourself, right here, right now, as yourself, without, once again, any other pigmentation of any other coloresqueness except the whitest of white and the goldest of gold, which is your two natural frequency colors, and originally going into metallic gold. Not a solidified metallic gold. It's a gold so shiny that if you looked at it with your naked eye, it would literally burn out the retinas, because you are that bright. That's why there's so many filters called veils to protect your body from your essence of the visual sense. Now let's bring it through the throat, front, middle, and back, through the occiput, through the atlas and axis vertebrae, the cervical vertebrae, the thoracic vertebrae, down your shoulders, through your upper arms, lower arms, into, within, and through the chakra level vortexes in the palms of your hands and the tops of your hands. Technically, throughout each and every fingertip and thumb. And right now, let's just look right there at the wrist. Can you see all those gold wrappings? Can you see all the different jewelries? Can you see all the different tapestries, all the different costumes that are flickering, 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 because they're all leaving? These are all the roles that you once wore and played that have still been going on, still been affecting your current live stream. And now, all right, hey man, goodbye, 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 sayonara, namaste, see you on the backside. And now, through your sternum, through the thoracic vertebrae, right into, within, and through the heart chakra level vortex, front, middle, and back. Where now, front, middle, and back, the heart chakra vortex opening and opening and opening. The centralized vortex of the body, your pathway home. The black hole, the wormhole, if you will, through all dimensions, to go bam, right here, right now, home. Before we give any definition to the heart means love, the heart means blah, 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 what about we just let the heart be the heart? It's your pathway home. Many share a lot of stories. You broke my heart, on and on. Well, that's an interesting one, because no one has that much power, because if your heart was broken, you would step out of the body. So from here, wouldn't that also go to more you bruise my ego than break my heart? So just to put it into characteristic and to clarity for yourself, for your own personal clarification and understanding within yourself and of yourself. Yeah, no one can break your heart. Your heart is your pathway home. That's where the all-seeing eye is. The eye of Horus, that's where the mysteries of the whole universe, if there are mysteries, that's where they reside. That's where the activation of each and every cell, each and every molecule, each and every atom, subatom in your whole physical form that has the whole blueprint of the whole universe. It is not just like a stale blueprint, it's the whole blueprint, all the encodements of consciousness that are constantly nebulous, constantly changing, metamorphosize. You go right through the nucleus into a whole universe that has all the blueprints that are constantly nebulous. Just like the truth is constantly nebulous, activating, expanding, expanding. That's part of why you feel a full moon. It's part of why you feel the planets moving around. It's part of why you feel the planet changing, shifting. It's because your body is shifting with it. And lightening the glow, dropping the skin, dropping the identities, the emotional, I'll call it emotional bodies for the sake of words, and the pain bodies for the sake of words. They're both kind of one and one, because the emotional bodies are affected by the mental bodies. The mental bodies are affected by the subpsyche. The subpsyche is creating the emotion, which is also feeding off it, and then becoming this dragon that's affecting the conscious mind, which is creating the body to shut down and break down. Now, as we take a breath for a moment, once again, washing our hands of it all. Been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. Because I think we all know that emotion is no more, no less than judgment that's created stagnation within yourself, within your system, within your mind, within your subpsyche, that have created all this energy as a backflow that's been creating your body getting ill and shutting down. That's why so many that so beautifully out of their own purity and innocence, keeps asking for emotional relationships. And that's understandable, because that's why the divorce rate is so high, because you're getting an emotional relationship. Now it's just who could throw bigger dishes at who when they're asleep. Now from here, that's an emotional relationship. Who can blame who can blah, 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 control, dominate, blah, 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 and play house, play whatever, until one dear one wakes up and the other just wakes up to, wow, emotion doesn't feel like love. It doesn't feel good in my body. Happiness is not an emotion. It's not a feeling. It's an emotion based in circumstances. So what's beyond the idea of happiness? Which brings us right back up through the heart, which brings us into joy, bliss, expression, receptiveness, animation, radiance, omnipotence. But once again, your pathway home through the heart, into, within, and through all that is. Because all the pain bodies, emotional bodies, subpsyche, psyche, this is where it goes all the way down to its home called the solar plexus. So now let's just bring our consciousness and our creator source intelligence and our source consciousness of all that is down through the solar plexus. And I say down, but I'm not necessarily playing with horizontal or vertical. I'm playing with the vibrational frequencies. Because right now, from the heart level up, you're in your higher levels. From the solar plexus down, yeah, you're in the physical identification, sex, power, greed, on and on and on. Is it good? Is it bad? Is neither. It just is what it is once again. To right now, down through the lower thoracic, going into the lumbar, into the solar plexus. Meaning, dear ones call it your power spot, and it is a power spot when you're in fight and flight. You're either going to give in, or you're going to run like Hades to get away, or you're going to battle whoever's around, which is jumping right in. So right now, kind of shows you why your adrenals are not located in your heart or your third eye. Now, from here, the adrenals kick on, the diaphragm pushes up to where now you're chest breathing, so you can survive and escape. Now your vital organs go underneath the rib cage, so if someone pokes you with a sword or a dagger below your rib cage, you're not going to die, because your vital organs are being protected by the bone structure of the rib cage. So yeah, we just have more adrenaline pumping. So now let's just go into the solar plexus, front, middle, and back. Just let's just right now ask ourselves, Let's ask the mental. Let's ask the emotional. Let's ask the painful. Right now, with you, as that facet of all it is that you are within and through your light bodies right now, let's ask ourselves, self, right here, right now, what calls to me? Is it to actually live, prosper, enjoy, express, receive, have a blast? Or is it to survive, battle through, keep struggling with all the voices in my head that I haven't quite woken up to or discovered that they're really not even my voice? They're masked as my voice, but I'm hearing the voice of my father when I really sit and listen. I'm listening the voice of his father's fathers that have now just been channeled through him because he bought it to a hook, line, and sinker. But now I'm listening to that, still playing with that genetic train. And then, wow, over here, okay, yeah, that's the voice of the nuns. Well, Mother Superior, then that was kind of painful. And then Mom, and then on and on and on. But, now that I'm starting to really take the heart, the whole true definition, not about finding a voice, but listening to my voice, which is a very loving, kind, gentle, expressive, loving, embracing voice, supportive voice. Nothing harsh about me. Wow. I always have, free will, but which one do I right here, right now, wow, which one works for me? Because I noticed the other voice that I've been hearing that's been creating all this pain in my body. It's been creating all this hardship within my mind. Yeah, that's hurting, but at least, it's keeping me up at night. It's keeping the adrenals pumping. Y'all never catch me, but which one are you enjoying the most? And now it's just, that's where we just kind of take a breath. And we can easily say, okay, you know what, big guns, the rest of myself, my light body's greater consciousness of all that is that I am. Take command of the cosmic, the reckoning effect of the solar plexus, and the adrenals, the fight and flight response, the mental bodies, the emotional and pain bodies. Take command of the cosmic, the reckoning effect. Why? And show me why I'm constantly in pain, or I will even go as far as why I'm constantly addicted to pain. It's not like a 12-step group of addiction. It's where you adopted pain to be a part of your comfort zone. Because believe it or not, it's very scary when that's been your comfort zone for so long to what would life be without the pain? Because remember, you've adopted it because when you're hurting, when you're sick, you're in bed, and that's the one time your siblings, your mom or your dad don't come and try to beat up on you. They bring you chicken noodle soup or whatever. That's, you've decided that was your safe spot, because if you're vulnerable like that, for them, it's not a battle. If you're already down on one knee, there's no satisfaction for their ego to try to take you down because you're already down. So now, let's bring our consciousness down through the navel, through the lumbar vertebrae, through the sacrum, all the way into, within, and through your crater subclavian vortex. And as we do, let's just let it open up once again, front, middle, and back. Let's just really feel right now. Let's feel the plumbing. Maybe you have XY chromosome, maybe you don't. Maybe you have a stem on the apple, maybe you don't. Maybe you have a utero, maybe you don't. But right now, any way you look at it, it's all just plumbing. So let's put it where it belongs. Plumbing is plumbing. How blessed we are to have plumbing. So let's take a breath. Let's just let it be plumbing for a moment. Let's not let it define you. Let's not let it define what you do, when you do, how you do, what you can do, can't do. Let's really just put it where it belongs, plumbing. Now, as the creator chakra little vortex goes, what is it you wish to create? What do you wish to express within and through the exponential world? What do you choose, or what calls to you, or what presents for you to express within and through the exponential world? If it's having offspring, hey, more power to you. If it is painting, if it's drawing, if it's writing, if it's building a house or digging holes, doing plumbing, sprinkler, whatever. None of that is gender related. That it's just facilitating, doing hands-on energy work or whatever it may be for you. Taking all the gender energy out of it, what calls to you? One's not more important than the other. If all the trash men and women woke up and started all being facilitators, can you imagine how polluted the planet would be? If all the engineers quit and started doing kinesiology, so much for Apple computers. So there's a time, a space, and a place for all of it. One just as important than the other. If all the janitors decide they're all going to start having seminars and quit their job, well, so the CEO doesn't really matter anymore because the whole business is going to end up collapsing from the health department. So everything and everyone is just as important as the other. But now for yourself, what is it that calls to you? And now taking another breath on next exhale, going right down through the root chakra vortex, your upper legs, lower legs, into the feet. And now just taking another deep breath. And as we do, bringing your conscience right back through your heart, just feeling, connecting right there within and through your heart. Let's not make it into something that it's not. Some are just going to feel neutral. Some are just going to feel isness, which technically is your natural state. All the other stuff has to do with all the stuff going on around you, outside of you. Because the whole universe, and you as the universe, you don't get hyped over a flower in a field. That's a humanist thing. Because in the universe, I've never looked anywhere, I've never found in the universe flying past Neptune and seen a rose garden. It just doesn't exist. It only exists on planet Earth, which human, if you break it down, Hu is the ancient sound and frequency of creator in mammalian species. So human is who you are. But now, where we're bringing all of you wide awake, fully alert here now. And now, let's take a breath again, right there in our heart. And on the exhale, bringing your palms in front of your heart, like in a praying position, pushing your feet into the ground. Exhaling and letting all of this root integrate and ground permanently. Was that awesome and fun?
Oh my goodness, we are lit up. We are so centered. We are out of the mind and fully embodied. Lori, how do you feel? I'm floating.
So I'm just going to say, I feel so light. It was wonderful. So
Awesome.
beautiful.
I love both of your backgrounds. We got the jungle and the ocean.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah. Loren's in Costa Rica and I'm here on Oceanside. So yeah.
You're in
Got the
Oceanside,
best of both
California?
worlds. Sorry.
You're in Oceanside, California?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I used to live right by there. But this is awesome. And you both are such light, as always.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
That was a remarkable beginning to our program today. What a beautiful way to take us out of the mental constructs and the emotion.
Yeah.
And it's really exquisite and really indicative of how important it is to listen to our heart, the tone of our heart, to speak with our heart. That is empowerment as well. We can literally change the world when we are liberated from the genetic lineage of the voices of the genes, genes, that make our butt look fat. That's something, it's a joke I use.
Exactly.
But wow, I can see how the world changes. So now you, William, are a walk-in.
Yes.
Your story of a walk-in is so incredible. It's really fascinating. And you literally changed the physical body in the body that you walked into. It was overweight and it was very ill.
Yes.
Now, I mean, this is just indicative of the energy and the light body and the energy that we bring, our essence that we bring into physical form. So my question to you is, do you see human forms in this way? What do you see as far as our soul essence coming in as a human form? Or maybe more simply, when you look around at the world, what do you see people as?
When I look at dear ones, I see bodies of light. I see dear ones, like a lot of times I'll look at a dear one and at first, yeah, you see the characteristics, beard or long hair or whatever it may be, but then you take a breath and then they start turning into just particles of light with as a in the shape of a form. And then you look right through them. So you have a silhouette of light in the shape of a form. Then you have the heart level, but then you have their soul level right there. And it's them that is creating. So that's the real them that's creating the silhouette of light as the form, as all these particles of light, all vibrating at all these different frequencies, different levels, as creator expressing through carnate, but then with the soul level, then you have the soul level as just interesting. It almost looks kind of like a cosmo, but it's nothing solid. It's just all these particles into like in more of a whitish a sort of form in the shape of a ball, not solid, but more iridescent. And all these particles, and each and every particle of that, there's like a life stream here, a life stream there. Each and every particle, just like your cells, your genes, your atoms, subatoms, each and every one is full of all these encodements of consciousness waiting to become activated. So in the soul level, it's like all these encodements that have been laid into a certain form. The best way I can explain it, it's like, have you ever played the board game Scrabble? And all the words are laid out and all that. Well, that's kind of what it looks like. You're just given all this form from the soul level. But then what happens is like you start waking up and the whole board's thrown up into the air and all the letters are all scattered to where now there's not a locked in formulae anymore. So you have all these particles breaking apart, dissolving, being removed, being also resolved and dissolved in the process, which in turn, the silhouettes of a physical form starts opening and opening, expanding, expanding. So now it starts to lose the physical sense because now it starts becoming lighter and lighter and lighter. So magnetically, everything that's held that physical silhouette starts dissipating to where the particles of consciousness, particles of creator consciousness start vibrating faster and faster, wider and wider to where you start losing more and more of the physical identity of male, female, blonde hair, purple hair, whatever, and where all of that starts dissipating to where now it's really just their presence of creator consciousness right there.
Wow. I love the way you describe our essence in the sense of beyond the physical form, that we
Yeah.
are that creator consciousness, and we are literally light projected onto the medium of what we call the 3D dimension, you know?
Yeah, and the 3D
Yeah.
is collapsing. That's what you're watching all over the planet right now.
Hmm.
Going
Right.
into
But we're so much more.
Yeah, and then the 4 is already locking in and anchoring. That's why you look at the weather patterns, and part of the weather patterns is the mass collective, the astral planes are collapsing. So magnetically on the planet, those grid systems are also dissolving. And even the soul levels that have been stuck within the grid systems, entities, energies, thought forms, discarnates, blah, 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 they're being assisted to make a full transition to where, yes, all these old magnetic grids are translucently shifting, and new grids are coming in, becoming activated grids of light. Even the fuchsia ones, purification, divination are coming in, but also it's the planet itself is clearing its decks so powerfully, so profoundly, but this time without shaking humanity off again. It's happening in a very steady state, like it's speeding up, anchoring, integrating, speeding up again. And that's where, we get into what's perceived to be global warming, on and on. But it's the mass density, the mass collective, the astral planes, and we've already crossed the critical mass. So way more than enough dear ones have woken up. Even dear ones don't even realize they're awake because they don't know, they don't have the lingo for that. But they're more aware, more awake. They just haven't been to a seminar that they're that's happening to where it's speeding up the whole process. So yeah, a sinkhole over there, okay, a hurricane over there, a tornado, okay, whatever. The denser pockets, including fires and purification, the denser pockets of density and heaviness are occurring to clear that old energy out. Like, and that's where compassion comes in. And it's where, yeah, I really wish the dear ones that were there being affected, I really wish it was different, but I also honor and love them dearly. If they ever want assistance, please give us all a call. But at the same time, I honor that any dear one on this planet could be anywhere else on the planet. So I honor, okay, well, I find it peculiar why you would be there in that specific situation at that specific time for that specific unfoldment. So now let's get to work. What's really going on here? Because my home's going to blow up. I would like to know, well, not about it blowing up. I can care less about that. But I know for a fact I wouldn't be here if it happened. Because I know for a fact, if I'm presented with going somewhere or doing something, that's where I'm going to go and do. Not because I'm afraid of it. It's just because it's not a state of holding on and grasping onto an old way. And it's kind of cool if that did happen. Can you imagine being able to relocate it without a U-Haul? What a break.
Sounds good to me.
No moving companies.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. All right. This is an activation that has literally brought us out of fear.
Yeah.
There is no fear when we hold that frequency of our soul. What you did in the activation literally removed fear. And so do you see this? And you've said we've already crossed critical mass. Wow. Talk more about that, because
Yeah.
do you see then that this is the influence that we will have? Like with Lemuria, we had hoped when the laggards came in that our love would influence them to raise their vibration.
Mm-hmm.
We know that didn't happen. So now do you see that we will and are influencing the others into raising their vibration? Like they said, they can give us a call and we can help them out. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, when I look at all this is what I look at. Creator, beingness, creator, omnipotence. And I don't really care for the name creator. It sounds so male, but it's not male because creator doesn't have a vaginal canal nor a penis. So it's like what do you call it? Creator or creatoress? Something genderless, LGBTQC, So from here, we look at this, and creator is welcoming home all of its facets, calling home all of its facets. Now, the creator is welcoming home all of its facets. It doesn't mean just the Catholics. It doesn't mean just the Christians. It doesn't mean just the Muslims. It doesn't mean just the Republicans, Democrats, rhinoceros parties. It doesn't mean any of that. It means all of its facets. The best gift we can give everyone, which is something I repeat every day, help me to love and not to judge. Because the more that you are that you are, the more that you are walking your walk, not about getting on a soapbox and preaching. That's just trying to create a whole nother following. This is more about the love beingness, the light beingness, the radius, the vibratory levels and frequencies that you are, and that you're walking, that you're emanating. It is automatically affecting everyone around you and the planet and, the whole universe. So there's those, I don't pretend like there's not, that want to hold on to an old way and on and on and on. That's why you see these waves, COVID, cancer, like everyone and their dog has cancer, like it's contagious, like flu season, and they're basically stepping out. Now they're still assisted to make a full transition. They're still assisted. They still go through the halls of honor. Some get stuck in the astral planes. Okay, cool. Well, the archangelic realms are still assisting them home. And then they're going to end up going home. Some are going to pick up another form to start where they left off, to try to wake up. Because when you leave the planet with all that density, yeah, you go to the halls of honor and on. But you see, you're not able to make a full transition, because all that baggage, like emotion, judgment, if we just put it into terms, all of it has weight. So like right now, if I create a judgment, or we all do, you can feel that weight in your body. You feel your solar plexus lock up. That's weight. Now we say, maybe that isn't so. Maybe I'll know the whole story. All right. Well, there goes the heaviness. And then eventually they're able to accelerate to make a full transition, because they're no longer holding on or carrying that weight. Now, it's kind of interesting, where you could have an event with all of these dear ones emanating light, and there can be, let's say, 3/4 that, 1/4 dear ones, the densest of dents you could ever make dense. The dense ones, yeah, they're going to yell, scream, throw chairs, blah, blah, blah. They're going to probably try to light the place on fire, on and on and on. But it's interesting because you're watching all their secrets, all of their issues, all of their underlying hoopla coming up for them. Let's just say, well, okay, cool. You want to have a cup of coffee first, and I'll give you a pack of matches. Well, what's going to happen, and maybe some kerosene, your call, barbecue, lighter fluid. But from here, it's interesting how what happens is all their stuff's coming up and is being dissolved because of all the light, all the love. And they're going through fear, they're going through terror, they're going through insecurities, they're going through all this stuff, dragons, demonics, blah, blah, blah. The whole hypothetical demonic stuff, and all that stuff's coming up and out. But you see, if we're not reacting to it, we're literally assisting them, because it's coming up to come out. They're still creator incarnate. I promise you, there's not going to be one spark of a match anywhere, because they're also being steered to that same event, that same room, by their creator consciousness, knowing full well this is where free will is off the chart. Because I don't really buy into free will. I buy into another thing called the fast track or the scenic route. Now, you can use free will as much as you want and still go down with the Titanic. You can go to the libido deck, jump in the pool, go off the high dive, whatever, but the ship's still sinking. You can do whatever you want. But in reality, everyone's still waking up. Everyone is still opening up. The consciousness is still changing. Now, you can hold on as much as you want on and on, but I promise you, the tighter you hold, the quicker it's going to dissolve, because we're all going there anyways. Now we get back to the scenic route or the fast track or the easy way or the hard way. Now, this is where free will, I just lighted in the fireplace with the guy with the matches and kerosene. From here, where it's like, well, we can play the free will game and I have all choice, on and on and on. And I kind of chuckle at that, because that would just be me. I have all these choices, which means I have all this stuff and I can control blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like, yeah, good luck with that, Will. From here, because the only thing you can really control is your actions and reactions. If you really break everything down, you can only have control over two things: your actions and your reactions. I cannot control my home. My home's going to be the home that'll collapse. I'm still waiting for it to grow, but it hasn't grown yet. But from here, I water it. but I can try to control the cats, and I've never seen a cat until recently give me the middle finger or the middle paw. It's like, seriously? And I clean your litter box. So it's like it's a joke, and I have fun with it, because when you really, I don't want you just to believe me. I want you to challenge yourself. What do I really have control? Well, I have control of my kids. Yeah, until one urinates in your back seat. Well, good luck with that one. I have control over my bladder. Do you really? Drink a 2-liter of Diet Coke and sit there for 8 days? Yeah, right. Okay. I have control over when I go to the bathroom. All right, good luck with that one. Let's go to Thanksgiving dinner. So from here, it's really breaking it down into realization now. What do I really have control over? That's why I have fun with playing with the whole free will thing, because there's a point where free will is important. Is when you start to wake up that you even realize you have a choice over your life. That part's important, but it's just as important that you don't get stuck there in kindergarten. If it presents, it presents. Let's go. Let's run with it. Let's rock and roll, and continuing to move forward.
I love the part of your work where you say there is that you don't align with the belief system, that that particular word in itself is limiting. That whatever belief system you say you have. Well, for example, I'll just make an example. My partner's a cat. I'm telepathic with her. We talk all the time. And it's a pretty common thing when we go to sleep, where she'll say something to the effect of, "So has your belief system changed today? Do you know more tonight than you knew this morning? I hope so."
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a constant.
What's your kitty? Is it Buddha or something like that?
Puda, Master Puda. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's always riding that line, which is, are you expanding? Is your consciousness moving? Are you stagnant? Let's get rid of the belief system and let's move into unlimited potentials. And she lives and breathes that. That's her gift. So she's always defying what we would call the platonics, I guess. I mean, my presentation, which I'm going to do, she's allowed me to take pictures of her where she dematerializes and beams out of the room.
Awesome.
That's kind of rare in our physical world, but yet what she's teaching is that everyone can do it.
Exactly.
And to not feel that belief system that's limiting you. So that part of your work, to me, is so profound, and it's so important for people to understand that wherever they think their belief system is, or the word, I guess, where they think they're right, then that makes somebody wrong, and that's completely polarized. That's immersed in duality, which is, of course, what we're hoping to transfigure and transcend, right?
Absolutely.
So I just want to compliment you on that, because I think that's such an important aspect right now of our evolvement. The whales call it intentional evolution, to intend to evolve.
Yeah,
exactly. And that means dropping the belief system. Yeah.
Yeah, and I call it, if you're willing, let's go. Because the willingness is really all that it takes. Because it's when I look at belief systems, I look at taking the whole universe right here and then putting it through a tiny little drip system or PVC pipe. And it's like, why do that to yourself?
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
It's painful.
Yeah. Okay, this is an interesting point. I've often said, if people were to look, one way that people can accelerate, and maybe this is for us watching and listening to help other people expand their consciousness, is just to take a question and we call these belief systems BS. They are BS, right? And just say, for example, where did passports come from? That's a belief system that we all bought into.
Yeah.
So if someone would really contemplate where passports come from, they would reach a point where they're liberated and
Yeah.
say, well, that's BS, or that's a belief system.
Black sheep.
That's cheap.
Yeah,
Wow.
but yeah, what I look at, when I look at that, it makes me wonder, because like passports, that's a great example. Like if I start walking north or even southwest, I've never found a place where I hit an absolute invisible line that says I'm in Mexico or Canada.
Mhm.
I don't feel any different. So, I mean, who created these invisible lines?
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you hop on an airplane or
Yeah.
a boat, you end up wherever you end up, and it's like, well, there's still no invisible lines. But it's
I love
interesting
that.
how that works, right?
You're making me think of another metaphor that she uses. We're driving in the car and we come to a stop sign and there's nobody there. She says, "Why are you stopping?" And I said, "Oh, there's a stop sign." And she says, "It doesn't work for me. Cats don't stop at stop signs. Or we even come to a traffic light and it's red and we stop and she goes, "There's nobody around. I mean, this is ridiculous. Why would you?" Again, it's a belief system that if it's red, you should stop, right? And she's like, you know, I'm just going to keep going. She goes, "This is crazy. That guys have
Yeah,
limited yourself with all of these rules and laws." And
exactly.
cats, of course, the epitome of freedom. They're not going to line up or stop at a stop sign. So she's
Plus,
reminding me of that, and I think that helps us transcend our belief systems when we move
exactly.
into that paradigm, which is don't be confined by what other people have said or done or
Yeah,
tried to
plus,
put you into a box.
one thing I love about that kingdom is uh they're very solo. They're very independent. They don't look for the other kitty's approval, and they don't okay, and if I get your approval now, I can be worthy. They're like, yeah, right, get a life. So they're out, they're gonna do their own thing, no matter what,
Yeah,
and then
they've
expect
got their own drummer.
someone else to deal with it around.
Mhm. Yeah,
And they're just very loving, kind, sleek, but also matter of fact.
very matter of fact. Right. Years ago, I came back from a retreat in Hawaii where I took Puda. And, she's gone for many years out on the dolphin boats with me. And she
Oh,
enjoys, a life that's not really cat-like. We came home and I watched her jump up on the retaining wall between our property and our neighbor's
uh,
property. And the cat came out that lives next door. And I kind of overheard they were having a conversation. Basically, Puda was saying, I just did my radio show and a lot of people were listening. And I talked to them about my trip to Hawaii where I was on the boat with the dolphins. And the other cat just basically called her a liar. Said, "Well, that's ridiculous. Why would you tell me
uh,
these lies?" And she came in. She says, "I'm not going to talk to the neighbor cat anymore. He's calling me a liar. He doesn't believe me."
it's like, how could that be?
Um,
So, the animal's restricted because of the people's belief system. It's kind of
Exactly.
bought into that.
Yeah,
And she
exactly.
was, it's kind of funny, to see it from their point of view.
Yeah, and from their point of clarity,
Right.
and it's
Exactly.
like, well, I don't. It's so important for all of us to say, wait, 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 wait. You may be my wife, you may be my husband, you may be my kid, you may be my parent, but I still don't deserve this.
mhm.
So and being true to yourself and honoring yourself. It's not personal about them. It's more about, all right, this is where I watch so many get hung up is because, well, in I used to make a lot of humor about this. I still do to myself, but where did the family monads get the get out of jail free card? Like they have a secret pass that says I can call you names, I can do whatever I want, I can steal from you, kick you, urinate all over your house, your car, your dog. And because I'm your sister, that's okay. You're
Mhm.
gonna forget me, you have to. And it's like, maybe not. It's not about forgiveness. It's about, do I really want that in my life? I mean, where you get the free pass because you came out of the same womb, or these are all mental, emotional irrationalities, technically, but it still comes to, as creator incarnate, what am I willing to accept?
That's where the control that we have is the control over our energy, over
Yeah.
our soul, our essence, our light body. And it really helped me in this one because you also said that we are where we are on the planet for a specific reason. We may not be able to see why or why certain things are happening in the environment, for example,
Yeah.
but the way that we react or act on it is really the key. That is what we have control over.
Huh.
And so that really helped me in a situation that I'm facing where I could, it's a loud, noisy environmental mess in a certain area that's close to me. And instead of reacting and getting upset, which is stealing my light, it is better to be and call in this essence, because then I can see where powerful action steps, joining with others in the community to take some action, but not to fight anything, right?
Yeah.
And so really controlling our own energy and knowing, being able to see and witness from a higher perspective that something's going on here. We may not be able to see it, may not be able to see the forest for the trees, but something, there is a higher purpose to all of it. Would you say that's with everything that's going on? Like you said, when the density is coming up to be released, then it's being dissolved. So
Yeah.
many of us tend to look and say, we'll go into the fear and say, oh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. But
Yeah.
as Lori said in another show, Puda told her Armageddon has been postponed several times.
Yeah. Big time, big time. Yeah. Yeah, because this is all of this, and this is like this program we're offering. It's one of these things that we wake up in the morning, welcome in the day, and all the gifts the universe has to offer, the day has to offer, and then we ask ourselves, what right here, right now, deserves my energy or attention? So for when you're talking about down the road, okay, I can let their action, words, and deeds ruin my day if I want.
Huh?
Or I can, say, okay, well, they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. So what today, what do I wish to give power to today? What do I wish to invest myself into today? What feels awesome to engage with today? So if it's the other group over here saying, you know what, we're watching what they're doing, and it's creating a lot of long-term potential havoc for the whole surrounding area. So why don't we bring it up, share how we feel, ask for what we want, then hand it over to the universe and let the universe deal with it.
Okay.
Welcoming in divine justice, not because we can go head to head, we're going to get nowhere really quick. And now it's just really an energy battle and game.
Yeah.
But it's where you come back to your mastery. Okay, what really does deserve my energy or power?
Exactly. And it's so great because it falls into exactly what we're doing here, which is the self-empowerment. It's just taking people to the place where they will make that choice. They won't necessarily go down the same road every day or do it like the other people do it or what they think people want to see or experience. And let go of the old belief systems and move into something brand new.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
enlightening, empowering,
Yeah, and even breaking the chain with the confusion around empathy, sympathy versus compassion. And I started to play with that earlier when we were playing together about, hey, I really wish this wasn't happening for you, but because it is, give me a call and let's see where we can go with it. Not, oh, let's sit here and let's both cry over spilled milk. Let's sit here and let's both hate your husband. Let's sit here and let's start creating a master plan of cyanide or explosives. It's like, no, because why take that into yourself, number one, because now you're taking on their pain and making it your job now. Why go there and empathize and sympathize? Because once again, you're taking on their stuff. And then tomorrow, unfortunately, they're going to go recreate it again, and they're going to bring it right back to you, because now we have a dual dynamic energetically going on. So now you're supporting the behavior rather than having compassion. And so, let me know when you would like for it to be different, dear brother.
Yes.
Okay.
And sitting there, 2 heads are better than 1, 2 hearts are better than 1. All right, now let's create what we can do differently. Not
So grateful that you joined us.
Oh, and thank you so much. This has been an awesome time and a blast.
Yeah.
Really wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you. Oh, big time. And I feel the same way. Thank you. It's always such an honor.
You've shifted us, you've activated us. We're in deep gratitude for that. We're elevated. Every presentation in this series has really helped us shift in miraculous ways. That's the miracles that come from this vibration. And so thank you. And William, you yourself, you are a miracle as well. We all are miracles. Each of us is a miracle. I love it. You had mentioned you have a course for us, and right here on this webpage is where that course is listed. Tell us more about this. It's a live webinar with you. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's going to be 4, potentially more than 4 sessions. It goes on for over a month, and it's titled "Embracing and Becoming Yourself as Creator Incarnate." And we're going to cover things like increasing your vibratory levels and through your body and your mind, and to feel the love that you are and expressing your radiant presence, where you're expressing rather than internalizing anything less than that love and that presence that you are. And then, assisting with how to watch situations occur outside and around you, rather than reacting or overreacting to them, and becoming more comfortable with what is. And from there, starting to realize within yourself how perfect you are as you are. And these are things you'll walk away from the program. And it's going into more of your mastery, going into, doing, like we were playing with earlier, going into a little bit more of closed side release processes within yourself. And we'll be taking questions and answers. It's all going to be live. It's going to be very interactive, because that's where I have found that you get the most out of it, is where there's Q&A, where we can personalize it for your journey, not just like a broadness, but more personal to what's going on for you and with you.
That's awesome.
Yes, really empowering. Again, thank you for that really incredible webinar series. Again, it's available here or wherever you're watching and listening to this interview. You'll see it in the description box, the link for that. Okay, we really appreciate that, William. I know, again, we want to direct people to the archive on acoustichealth.com for interviews with you. Again, it's just remarkable for those who have not heard your walk-in story. That is a miracle among miracles. So we want to thank you for walking in.
Oh, and thank you. And this has been such an honor and such a blast, and look forward to playing together more and more and sooner and sooner. We sure love you, and happy holidays and everything.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Namaste. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in Unity Consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.